Toto Wolff just announced his plans for the Australian GP and it's looking good. Simple yet effective. Can Mercedes turn the tide around the season that began but has been an absolute nightmare so far for them? Let's take a look at Toto's masterful plan against his rivals. Toto Wolff, the head boss at Mercedes, is all about using what we learned from the Australian Grand Prix to guide where we're headed for the rest of the season. We had a rough time in the Saudi Arabian GP last time around, landing in 6th and 9th place. The trouble? Well, it all boiled down to our struggle in Sector 1, where the speed gets high. Lewis Hamilton wasn't too pleased, saying our rear stability just wasn't up to snuff throughout the whole weekend. Now, here's the deal. Our W15 package, it's pretty solid when it comes to those slow and medium speed corners, but, and this is a big but, Wolff is pointing out that when it comes to the fast stuff, we've got a real weakness. He's calling it a fundamental issue that we've got to fix, no ifs, ands or buts about it. Let's rewind to 2023, a season we'd rather forget for Mercedes. But Australia, that was a shining moment. They rocked the grid with a 2-3 punch before Hamilton nabbed second place, just trailing Max Verstappen. Sure, George Russell had to retire early due to an engine failure, but overall, it was a standout race for them. So now that we're circling back to the Albert Park circuit, Wolff's got his eye on the prize. He wants to soak up all the info he can at a track that throws a mix of high speed and medium speed corners. Why? Because that intel is going to be the guiding light as they set their sights on what needs fixing and where they need to focus their efforts for the rest of the season. Wolff shared that since the race in Jeddah, they've been putting in serious efforts to build upon what they've learned from the first 2 races of the season. He finds it promising to see the potential in the W15 car, but he's also aware of some clear areas that need improvement. Specifically, they've noticed that while they've looked good in the slower and medium speed corners, they've struggled when it comes to high speed turns. The team has been putting their heads together to figure out why their performance hasn't matched up with their expectations. Fixing this is a big priority for them right now. They're aiming to make some initial progress by the time they hit Melbourne, and whatever progress they make there will guide their development plans in the weeks that follow. Wolff mentioned feeling a surge of energy and determination buzzing through the factories as everyone works towards unlocking the full potential of the car. He acknowledged that they've left some points on the table in both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Despite starting each weekend on a strong note and sticking to their usual practice routines, they just haven't been able to deliver on that initial promise. With the competition so tight, Wolff stressed the importance of squeezing out every bit of potential from the car every single weekend. He sees the upcoming race at Albert Park as another opportunity to demonstrate what they're capable of. Hamilton expresses his strong belief that Mercedes will reclaim their championship-winning status in the future. Despite rumors, he clarifies that his decision to switch to Ferrari wasn't because he lost confidence in Mercedes' ability to secure another title for him. Since joining Mercedes in 2013, Hamilton has enjoyed remarkable success on the track. He clinched the Drivers' Championship every season from 2014 to 2020, except for 2016 when he narrowly lost out to his teammate Nico Rosberg. However, Mercedes has faced challenges since the introduction of the ground effect regulations in 2022. Hamilton himself hasn't tasted victory since the penultimate race of the 2021 season. Despite committing to Mercedes until the end of 2025 by signing a contract extension last summer, Hamilton made waves in February by activating a release clause in the deal. This move shocked the Formula One community as it paved the way for him to join Ferrari next year. Although Hamilton is eagerly anticipating his move to Ferrari, he remains driven to give his best for Mercedes in their final season together. He confidently asserts that Mercedes has the potential to return to their winning ways. Hamilton expresses his excitement for the upcoming season with Mercedes, emphasizing his belief that the team will secure another championship title. He takes pride in knowing that he has contributed to the team's progress, particularly in terms of diversity and improved processes. When questioned whether his decision to join Ferrari was influenced by doubts about winning an 8th title with Mercedes, Hamilton firmly denies it. He reiterates his faith in Mercedes' capabilities, emphasizing his belief that they will clinch another championship in the future. Hamilton acknowledges the remarkable team at Mercedes, recognizing their strong organization and deep commitment to racing, regardless of their current championship status. He emphasizes that his decision to move to Ferrari isn't influenced by whether Mercedes has a championship-winning car or not. For him, it's about embarking on a new chapter in his life. Feeling like he's given his all to Mercedes, Hamilton expresses his readiness for the challenge of racing for Ferrari. Despite being in the latter stages of his career, he craves challenges, and joining Ferrari presents the ultimate one. He acknowledges Ferrari's iconic status and rich history, but notes their lack of recent success compared to their past glory. Hamilton's goal for the current season is to outperform Ferrari, aiming to beat them on the track. However, he acknowledges that his focus will shift next year when he officially joins the Ferrari team. Mercedes has won championships under 3 different team names, so there's no doubt they'll win another, whether they stay as Merc or change hands again in the future. This sport has been dominated by just 2 teams since 2009, Mercedes and Red Bull. Even looking back at 1999, the top 3 teams have won almost every championship, with only 2 exceptions. Mercedes winning another championship is just a matter of time, maybe in a couple of years or even longer, just like Ferrari's current situation. As for Lewis, whether Mercedes can bounce back in 2026 doesn't really matter to him, since it's already known that Mercedes wouldn't extend his contract past 2025. They wouldn't have gone for a short-term deal otherwise. Similar to Alonso at Alpine, trying to win Lewis over with promises of performance improvements wouldn't work, knowing he won't be there to witness them. In my opinion, Ferrari will clinch a championship before Mercedes does. They seem to be heading in the right direction, but Fernando Alonso needs to push hard and find a way to bring top talent to Ferrari. Aston Martin managed to snag some senior talent from Red Bull, but it looks like they could only replicate what they already had at Red Bull. It seems like Adrian Newey is the secret ingredient, responsible for designing crucial components like the suspension and aerodynamics that have made Red Bull dominant in recent seasons. It seems George Russell hit the jackpot with his deal, at least in terms of money and commercial opportunities, hence the pun. But when it comes to performance, it's a bit of a gamble. It could turn out really well or terribly. Either way, it's going to be interesting to watch. Russell's comments might have inadvertently caused some trouble. If Mercedes wins soon, it means he won't, which is not ideal for him. Lewis Hamilton isn't against Mercedes, but he knows he's nearing the end of his career. Joining Ferrari has been a dream of his, and he was willing to take the risk. It felt like now or never, especially with so many talented young drivers waiting for their chance. The irony would be thick if Mercedes comes out strong next season, leading the pack and challenging Red Bull all the way. It's unlikely, but it would be quite amusing. Before the budget cap, Mercedes was a powerhouse team with unlimited resources, but now things have changed. They've had to adapt to the budget cap, which has significantly impacted their operations. Losing key personnel, facing design failures like the embarrassing Zero Pod, Mercedes is a shadow of its former self. On the other side, Ferrari has always been a wealthy team, but their focus on Italian-centric operations often led to setbacks. However, things are shifting. They're becoming more competitive, making strategic hires and showing glimpses of a potential dream team. With Hamilton joining next year and promising young talent on the rise, Ferrari seems poised for success. They might even secure another World Constructors' Championship before Mercedes does. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video.